Good evening, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie Band. It is Thursday, April the 20th. It's about 6 p.m. and this is the Thursday Leeloo Level Up report. We're going to take a look at what the charts might look like tomorrow and potentially on Monday. Take a peek at what kind of rotations we might be seeing and looking for price points. A great thing to do for you to get confidence in the way that I work through the charts is to go back for the beginning of the day or the day prior and say, all right, she said this might happen, and to do this, then what would I do here? And that way you can understand and hear the same thing over and over again and know that I work with a routine that's always associated with price impact. So we're going to look at SPY first. Tomorrow we've got options expiration for the month, and there are a couple of key levels that are being pinned, as it were, in the markets. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's been happening for the last few days so that we can see how price action might be developing towards Friday and into next week. All right, so early this morning I talked about, hey, listen, if you see the price action bounce, but it cannot get up over the prior levels around 413 or so, then you're looking for it to lose the close of the prior day again, and you can short it. Well, we had a super messy day. It moved up and down and in and out, but the big thing to notice was the following. Just like the 2 days prior, we had big wicks. And the shadow here is giving us a lower low for the third day in a row. On top of that, just like yesterday, we closed near the low of the prior day. So yesterday, we closed near the low of the prior day. Today, we closed near the low of the prior day. So that's fairly unusual in these last two bits. The last several days, what we've done are close above the close of the prior days or close to the highs of the prior days. So we are looking at a shift in temperament. Something else that we've noticed across time is that all the dips that we've had in times past have been bought pretty efficiently all the way up into these other ranges, and we really have ended a fair bit higher than we had in the past. And now again, for the last 3 days, all of our big spikes have been sold off into lower edges. So it tells me we definitely have sellers pressing down on the line here, and they're pushing the buyers out of the way. So what do we expect to see in the overnight and into tomorrow? If this is a region that's a one-off and price action holds, you're going to want to look for 411 to be your baseline support. If it loses 411, we're very likely to slip back down into the 409.50 area, potentially even 408. Okay, those are the levels. If we stay above 411, we'll be looking at 412 and potentially 415. I think that's a fairly outside opportunity, but it does exist. Okay, so those are what you'll be looking for SPY. Let's take a look at the ES. And again, apologies for the sniffles. I got allergies year round. I'm allergic to everything. So what did we do here? Now remember how important 4150 was. And we didn't have this fade until late into the day when we came into, what do you know, the high of the prior month. And as soon as that started to hold, traders began to buy up. So because I think it's so important for you to see what I mean about price action building a floor at a key level, here's how it looks. Okay, let's say you want to buy the 4142 area, or maybe you want to buy the 4140 area. Doesn't really matter. Here's the ledge. So what do you want to do when you see price action come in like this. The first thing you want to do is not buy the dip. You don't just sit a limit order out here because you have no idea how far it's going to fall. Let it fall all the way, start making its way up, let it break back above this area that should be support, and then say, okay, now I'm up here. If I buy 41.42, I already know that my stop can be 41.36. If it loses that level, it means that all the buyers that were climbing in here and here and here all of a sudden said, I'm out of here. So it's a great place to leave, okay? That's how you look for a level to hold. Let it break down, pop back up over your range, pull back to give you a buy zone, and as it moves up, I like to get in as close to the floor of my support as possible. So as it moves up, I'm going to wait for it to come back. If I see it sort of holding this area, I'm going to jump in, right? And it holds the level. And don't lose your cool if it comes back down, because you know the floor is down here. All right? So, and as it closes up over this edge, you can begin to trail it back up into the range. That's just how you do it. Super straightforward, nice and easy. I do it every day. Okay? That's what we're looking for. All right, for the numbers for the ES, again, 40.50, huge number. So far, we have not been able to get back up over 41.57. So 41.60, top of the range for the sellers. If indeed we start holding over 41.65, we're going to jump back into the 41.70 range and then potentially continue the ride up. This is not what I think is going to happen. Again, we closed near the low here, so I expect the bounce to fade. And so the loss of 41.50 opens up 41.38 and then 41.22 with a possibility of a retest of 40.98, which is really what I expect because it's very close to this heavy congestion zone here. Between 40.98 and 40.84 are the levels that I am looking for in terms of price action holding. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. The reason that I am on Trend Spider tonight is because Rhythmic is down, and we normally use Motive Wave and the Leeloo platform inside, well, the Leeloo accounts inside of Motive Wave. But this is why we're doing Trend Spider tonight, because Rhythmic is down. It's not connecting. All right, so what did we talk about this morning? I said, hey, listen, watch that 13,000. If it comes in and holds the level, you've got yourself a long. But wait, because it could come into 13,000. And it did. It came into 13,025. Wow, 13,027 was a number we watched a ton of times in times past. That's very interesting. And so here we are now above 13,071, right? We're at 13,091. Here's the line in the sand. If we bounce, which buyers really want to defend this area, but if we bounce, my suspicion is that a group of sellers are now going to be sitting at 13,135. As it fades that area, you can take the short. If it comes into your 13,070 and begins to bounce, you've got to take some profit and bring your stop down closer to break even, and then you let it ride 13,006, 12,900, 50, and then 12,920 potentially. We could easily come into 12,872. It all depends. Taking a look at the Qs, price action has been absolutely spot on beautiful. We've been calling the formations very nicely, and here we've got another setup. Almost closing on the lows, sitting there at 316. I said this morning, hey, 315 is probably going to be that bounce zone. If it comes down into the area, true to form, comes in. Now we're at 316.50, excuse me. So where's the resistance? Well, it could be 317, but if we get above 317.40, buyers are going to try and push it back up to the 318.80. And if it doesn't happen, and it bounces into the area and begins to rotate down, look at the same formation that I showed you, only turn it upside down, same one I did for the ES, and you rotate it all the way back down. Where's the next line in the sand? Hey, listen, it could easily be 313, right? Easily. We've got a ton of congestion here. Maybe it's 313.80, maybe it's 313.50, somewhere around there. You want to watch for those levels. All right. Quickly, let's do YM. Same sort of thing. What do I have the YM here? Months. Let me remove this rectangle. That's from several months past. So what are we looking at? Same sort of rotation, gapping down into the space. Markets just started trading again at 6 o'clock. It's now gapping down at 33,903. Where's the next ledge? 33,763. There are a lot of people thinking that, hey, sunny days are here again. Price action's going to the north. We're going to get to 35,000 one more time. Hey, listen, we could be, but I don't think so. What do I think? I think we're going to bounce. If we bounce into this 34,020, what it's going to do is give us an opportunity for a short if it loses the level. If it gets above 34,040 and it keeps holding there, the buyers are going to come. But notice how different this one is. Here's all the stopping. Now we're opening here underneath this line in the sand, bounces, likely to be sell zones as far as I see, really likely to be sell zones. RTY, weakest of the bunch in general, and this certainly is showing that particular story. Here is the volume formation. Oh, I haven't done this in such a while. Here is volume formation. VBOC all the way to, that's volume point of control, all the way down at 1769. That's where the majority of all of the contracts exchange hands. What are we looking at? Take a look at this monthly. Now we're under the close of the prior month. This is so much weaker than all of the other charts, and it's because the small caps are sitting in there and they're going to be susceptible to higher interest rates and a squeezing in the economy. So this is really, looks to me very weak. Hey, what could happen? Bounce, 1806. If it can't get above 1806, you know what you got to do? You got to think about taking a short down there, right? If it holds 1810 and any pullbacks that come into 1790 immediately begin to bounce, you've got yourself long action. It can take you right back up into 1815. That's what that's looking at right there, okay? If we take a look at oil, this is very interesting, right? Yesterday we had a huge draw in the EIA, but now we are starting, like new housing, the housing numbers came out and they were atrocious. I read somebody, they went, oh, they don't look so bad. I'm like, okay, you and I are thinking different things, obviously, but to me, they look terrible. So housing numbers, bad, and I think what it's doing is just, one, filling in the gap, and then people are getting very nervous about the demand, and they see demand for energies coming off. All right, so what do we want to look for? Well, in the very beginning, you remember me saying, hey, oil's going to be a buy, but my sweet spot for the buy is the bottom of the gap. That's been just the sweet spot. Now, here it is, sitting right at this congestion zone here where all these guys came through, 76.84. You know, it might be a great buy there, right? I mean, buyers are going to come in here eventually. I mean, they really, really are. So my suspicion is let it chop around here. If you see any big savage fades or the dollar starts to bounce really nicely, let it come all the way down and then buy it on the lows. It's going to be, what would be lucky for us is if we could get it back to 70 and our administration would actually do what they promised to, which was, fill up the strategic petroleum reserves. Okay, I'm not saying anything else political, except they call it strategic for a reason. All right, moving on. Here we are with gold. I think gold's going to pull back. Yesterday, it had a nice pullback and then bounced right off of the 1975 level. What's going on here, though? Looks like a little bit of exhaustion. Take a look. It really tried to expand and now pulling back. Now it's at the high of last month. This is a critical zone. If we bounce, but we cannot get back up over 2011, I think we fade, okay? And so 2011 to, 2011, 2015, somewhere around there. The chart could move very, very sideways because there are a lot of people getting involved in this instrument. So baseline, sorry about that voice, it sounds like I've been smoking cigars. 1972 base support, 2013 base resistance. Above there, buyers are going to start getting super jiggy and try to move it back into 2050 and higher. Below 1972, we're going to have ourselves a tidy pullback. My thought is, we might get back to 1930, something like that. All right, that's it for me, folks. Thank you for watching. This has been the Leeloo Level Up Report, and I'll see you all in the trading space. Take care.